Hi, this is Steve Stine, and I'd like to show you a few things that you're going to be learning in my new Chops Builder course. In this promo, what I want to show you is I want to show you some ideas of what you're going to be learning with your right hand. And of course, primarily what we're going to be focusing on is down picking and alternate picking. Okay? But the first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about relaxation. We're going to talk about efficiency of motion. Okay, for instance, when you're going to down pick, always remember that the point of a technical exercise is to get better at something. That either means that it's cleaner, it's faster, or you can do something for a longer period of time. So what we want to do is when we're down picking, we want to try and practice things where we're cleaning up our ability to down pick. When I'm picking this string, I want it to be smooth and I want it to be as accurate as possible. I want it to be even. So one thing we're going to talk about a lot is utilizing a metronome and how to do that effectively. Before we get into that, though, I want to talk to you a little bit about the 3 points of relaxation that I think about when I'm going to pick something, whether it's down picking or alternate picking. Okay, the first thing is I think about my shoulder, then I think about my elbow, and then I think about my wrist. And what I want to do is I want to learn to relax all the muscles in my body, particularly in the upper portion of my body, of course, when I'm doing this, so I don't tighten up. A lot of times what happens is when people play, you can see them get really tense. We want to learn how to do just the opposite. Even though we're technically going to get more advanced and we're going to increase our speed and all those sorts of things, we actually go the opposite direction and we start learning how to relax. And that's one of the most important things. You relax your neck muscles and your shoulder muscles and all those sorts of things as you play. So what I want to show you here a little bit is I want to show you how to do this exercise. I'm going to get a metronome going for you here. I've got it set at 100 beats a minute. So the first thing we do, I want you to hear this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to hear this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Okay? Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be learning how to play along with that metronome at those 3 different speeds that I call the rhythm pyramid. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see me do is I'm going to come over here, I'm going to palm mute, and I'm going to do some down picking. And my goal is to be efficient as possible. I'm not going to move my wrist that much. I'm not going to move my shoulder. I'm going to stay really relaxed. And I'm basically going to be moving from the wrist a very minimal amount, or I'm even going to be just moving from the fingers a little bit. Okay? Now the pick, I want to make sure that the guitar pick is sitting at a fairly straight angle with the string. One of the first things a lot of us, including myself, learned how to do was to turn the pick a bunch so it makes it easier to get through the string. It is true, but the problem with doing that is you get a really sloppy kind of mushy sound when you're picking. You actually want to get that pick a little bit flatter so you get more of a percussive sound when you're picking through the string. So let me show you this down picking exercise here. Again, get my metronome going. So here I would have... Now at this speed, there's not a lot going on. Okay? All we're doing is trying to line up. What we really want to get to are these guys right here, doing what we call eighth notes. And I'm really concentrating on listening to the beat and lining up and thinking about the execution of picking the string every time. Does it have the same dynamic? Is it tight? Is it clean? That's what I want to be thinking about. Then I can move on to the last one, which is 16th notes. Now here, now that one obviously gets going quite fast, okay? And that's what we're shooting for, is the ability to go, and there's going to be a ton of different exercises for you to do to gain those kinds of speeds. And all the way through, you're thinking about how to clean everything up and how to make everything really relaxed in your body as you play. And we're going to talk about all those kind of things. So we're going to talk about using this metronome and how to build the quarter note, the eighth note, and the 16th notes. We're going to be doing some jam tracks to be able to utilize those, and I'm also going to explain to you how to do that in the real world with songs that you actually like. Being able to choose songs, not just because you like the song, but being able to strategically choose a song that utilizes a down-picking technique at a speed that's comfortable for you, yet challenges you and keeps you from getting bored with just using a metronome all the time. Okay? We're going to talk about, like, for instance, I'm from North Dakota, and right now it seems like it's never going to warm up. Warming your hands up. Like, one thing that I do a lot is I run my hands under warm water. I use a space heater. When I play on stage, I bring one with me when I travel, that sort of thing. We're going to talk about stuff like that. Always thinking about stretching and warming up your hands before and after you play. Number one, so you don't get injured, of course, but number two, because it just makes everything flow a lot easier. It makes things easier to do. And then another thing we're going to talk about with this down picking is a technique called accenting, where we're going to take that same idea, instead of having everything be exactly the same, okay, we're hitting some of the beats differently to get a different kind of sound. And we're even going to learn how to take the palm muting off to be able to start building different kinds of rhythms and things like that. We're going to be able to do all of those things with just down picking, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at alternate picking. We're going to do a lot of the same things, although we're going to start implementing, really truly understanding how alternate picking works. Yes, it's just down and up picking, but if you've ever done it before, when you go in to actually start doing alternate picking, it's more work than you think it is, and of course, then we want to start utilizing the metronome as well, so we're not just trying to play fast, but we're playing technically proficient. So when we go to play over songs, we can actually execute these exercises that we're learning about. So we're going to break down the down picking and the alternate picking in great detail with a lot of different kinds of exercises and then build them back up.